What's up? What's up? Well, just figure this, I don't know, bullshit about some fucking bullshit about weed. I know we talk about weed all the time, but we could always talk about weed. It was nice seeing him with GD last night. All right, sure. Uh, no, this is never going to be a safe place. You know, you don't have to be positive here. I don't give a shit. Like, I mean, I'm not going to openly shit on people, but I can't control what other people do. So, I mean, I was sitting here wondering why fucking I hadn't seen nothing from Channel 2 in a while, and I was like, oh shit, I'm not subscribed to them. Like, yeah, I like to talk about plants, but I mean, because really, I want to do real reviews though. Like, actually, just you do one garden, you know, like one garden a show, and actually get into it. Like, obviously, it's hard to look at the plant and be like, "Ooh, that's a good garden," or "Ooh, that's a bad garden." I mean, it's easier to say, "Ooh, it's a good garden" if it's a good garden, but if it's a bad garden, it's hard to even talk about. But I want to get more into talking about it and you know just going over what could have been improved, you know, what could have been, because I mean there's no fixing it, whatever's wrong with it at this point, but what you do maybe better next time. Like, uh, I'd really like to talk to that guy that does that hydro that New York John was talking about last night. Wow, I got to get a hold of you, Smelly. Fuck. I'd like to, you know, talk to that guy. I mean, how can we catch some of these guys before they funnel the wrong, you know? I'd rather, I mean, like, let's talk about how people can improve. You know, we all know that most people aren't growing very well. So how can they improve? Let's talk about how they can improve. I mean, we can look at different gardens, and I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's tough to try to do that on PKR show. There's so many people up there. Everybody's talking at the same time. I mean, for me, it needs a little more structure because I got a little irritated last night. I mean, we don't get very many people that show up to show their gardens. So I just feel like when someone shows up to show their garden, we should allow them to show their gardens instead of everybody just talking over the top of everybody, yelling this, that, fucking. And so the person trying to show his garden doesn't even, he's like, wow, where the fuck am I? Like, this isn't how, I mean, like, whether it's a good garden or not, if you're going to allow him up, you got to let him talk. You know, let him get his, whatever he's got out so that way we can try to help him. Unless people really don't want to help people, then I get it. Yeah, I think the panel is too long. It's hard because it's not that people are intentionally talking over each other. Some people have different delays. Like I know being on my computer, I'll hear it on I can have it on my phone at the same time, and it'll be quicker on my phone than it is on my computer. So there is a delay there too. Yeah, it was a long run last night. I finally jumped off because I was getting tired. I just think a little more structure. Uh, but there was a lot of positivity, which, yeah. Uh, Positivity to a point, but then you still got to be honest with people. Right? And I know people don't necessarily want to hear that all the time, but at the end of the day, they're going to do whatever they're going to do regardless. Yeah, a lot of plant videos, a lot of. I dig the direction that was going. Hell yeah. Yeah. Chapo talking over everybody. Yeah. Right. That's easy for me. I just won't go on the show. I mean, there's too many people. I mean, they got it under control. I don't need to I don't need to be up there. I can go on other shows. Heaven forbid somebody would want to learn from someone who actually shows plants. Oh, there's a little ball busting. Oh, that's when I jumped off. I jumped off when they were doing that fucking video of that one chick. And it was like fucking, I don't know. I guess I'm just older than that. I don't ooh and ah over girls on the internet. I don't know. And it was so long, it just kept going and going and going. I was finally like, okay, I'm out. No, you're right. And that's the thing too, right, Smelly? It's not that they're coming up to seek help or anything. They just want to come show their garden. And I feel that people that do that and that they don't have very good gardens, I feel they just don't know any better, right? Because I was in that same boat. I learned from the fucking idiots on YouTube. No offense to anybody, but I failed for a long time and didn't even know it until finally I got into a community that was like, hey, take this shot straight to the nuts. Go fucking take a nap and call me in the morning because you're not ready to hear the info. But I got to give you the nut shot so that way it stings a little bit. Mm, I fought it just like anybody else. There comes a point where I don't give a shit how long you've been growing. There comes a point where if you're not doing good, you have to admit it to yourself, and you basically have to start fresh. Forget everything you know. Find somebody that grows good and just start fresh. Act like you don't know nothing and start from the beginning. Yeah, but you're moving in the right direction though, Smelly D. That's the thing. It's the people that continue to do the same thing over and over and over. And then you'll even watch how they start progressing backwards. As long as your garden is better this time than it was last time, and it's not taking you 50,000 runs to dial it all in and get it right, it takes you. Grobos used to say, what was it, John? Like Three grows, 4 grows. I mean, until you kind of start getting shit dialed in and figuring out what the fuck. You're not going to do it overnight. I mean, there's always an exception to the rule, but because he just wants to show his garden and he wants to, everybody wants to socialize. Everybody wants to be part of a group. Some people want to hear the right information, whether they're going to do it or not. They want the truth. They just want the truth for somebody else. That's okay. I'm over it. Like I always say that. I always say, fuck it. I'm over trying to help people, but I try to help people. I mean, that's just for whatever reason. I don't know. I just want to help people. I want them to have good gardens. But it's really tough. I'm more frustrated that people don't want to accept the help. And it's not like I can't make anybody do anything, obviously, but when you argue with me about stuff and it's just like, dude, it's proven over and over and over. Like, I don't understand how. But right. No, I think you would. I think soil is a lot slower, but I think Chiba's really super busy. And for trying to do what Chiba's doing for the time that he has really to spend in the garden, he's just going to go backwards. I mean, perlite doesn't retain any water, any nutrients. So you get the roots wet and then they're dry. How long do they stay dry? Well, they're probably drying out before the next, shot of water. And the only way I could see perlite working is if you had drippers. And like the dripper would probably have to drip like all the time. I mean, maybe you turn it off for a little, like, I don't know, put it on a timer, but to try to do it on a schedule by hand, I just don't think that's. I wouldn't attempt to do that now with perlite, and I got a lot of time on my hands. I mean, did you do a good job? Of course, Frogbutt. I mean, look at your plant. I mean, the only criticism I can get is, I mean, like I think somebody said, you could have got a little more secondaries, but I mean, look at it. For a 5-gallon pot, look at how big. You're gonna have a lot of weed. I mean, you filled the space. You filled the space. Could you have got a little bit more? Sure. But your plant is kind of like my smaller plants in my example of having too many tops. So once you get to a point where you have so many tops, the plant has to use so much energy and all that energy gets spread out amongst all the other tops. I just feel like with a lot of tops, you can't get those true full colas because the plant has to spend too much energy on everything. Right? I mean, that's a big canopy for the size of pot, right? You look at the huge canopy, and then you look at the size of the pot and the root base. I mean, those roots have to create a lot of fucking energy to do that whole plant. And it works. You can do that. Absolutely. That works just fine if that's what you want to do. I mean, you get a lot of fucking weed, and I mean, colas are nice. I like getting colas, but let's be honest, when it's time to put it in a jar or put it in a bag, it all gets bucked down. I mean, oh, you wanted fluffy? Oh, those are great. I mean, I look at the next stage, right? So when I look at your plants, Rock Butt, I think, cool, those are nice sized buds, but I know what they're going to look like when it's dry. So when I look at people's stuff, I always look at the next step, right? Like I look at some plant and I go, oh, that's good. But when it goes to that next part, you can kind of see what's going to happen. But I mean, fuck, I would smoke that weed. I'd smoke the shit out of it. But that's just what happens when you try to spread that much energy into that big of a plant. I mean, I've done it plenty of times. I've got those two, they're smaller than that, but they're bigger plants. Why, the canopy's way wider than the pot. So I always think the canopy is way bigger than what the root base is. So now that root base has got to work double time to produce the energy for all those tops. So are you going to get colas? Probably not. Are you going to get a lot of nice 4-inch floppers, nice fucking bud, dense fucking frost? Absolutely. You still can. Yeah, with the perlite, they do that because they're searching for more water, probably. And they're just constantly in rock or in perlite. I mean, I would think that they got to be wet all the time. I could see that working maybe in a hydro system. You want to fill your net pots with perlite. 4-light's not bad. You can do that pretty quick, especially if you're starting with clones and you start training early. Get your 3, maybe 4-foot plant at the end of flower with 2 foot of canopy, 2 foot of leg. I mean, it's a good ratio. The problem with that, what I have is with plants when you do start training them super duper early, and they got all them branches way down low. Sometimes it's a pain in the ass to water. You can't get a solo cup or nothing to fit down under there because there's so many branches in the way. It's not a bad problem to have, but yeah, I got all the parts for a drip system for 2 2x4 tents in my cart in Amazon, and it's gonna be about just under $200. That's with movers and pumps and pressure regulators and drippers and the lines and everything basically except the reservoir. I think with the amount of time that she was busy, I wouldn't even put him in cocoa because if you got to water more, then you got to be there more and you got to pay. I would tell him straight up, just go to Fox Farm, Ocean Forest. He could water it and then walk away and come back in a few days. I mean, do his little bit of training, water, walk away for a few days. You know, yeah, absolutely. Uh, those work great. Yeah, I think if you're busy, you should be running soil. It takes a little bit time, grows a little bit slower. But in my opinion, if you're really busy, you're not going to notice that because you're only going to go in there every few days to water and do a little bit of training. And every time you go in there, you're going to think the plant, whoa, look at the plant grew. Like, fuck. You're not going to notice how slow it really is. Not when you're busy. I plant my seedlings. They're kind of upset. They're starting to get roots coming out the top of the cocoa. Yeah, the cups are pretty full. Here, let's see if I'll show you one and see if you can see it. see if you can see it. See, she's full. She's ready to get transplanted. But she's got fucking branches. And that's pretty much how they all look. I was going to show it last night and show some plants last night, but it gets too busy on PKR for me. Yeah, you might go peek on your grow, once a day just to make sure equipment's running. Right. Because the last thing you want to do is go in there fucking after 3 or 4 days and find out that for some reason the fucking fan burned up or half the light burned up or something. I mean, yeah, I've thought of doing it that way, just a fucking a little pump and then, like, I don't know. I thought about doing like that. Like with the cocoa, I even thought about just fucking running a line from a pump straight from the reservoir to the table, flood the table, and then have the drain have just a small like little hole in it so it drains slow, allowing the plants to butt chug, and then at the same time it's also draining back down through and back into the reservoir. I thought about doing it that way, but I think all the parts that I have though with the pressure regulator, all that shit to make sure everything stays even. You have the little manifolds and shit like that. Make sure all the lines stay running at the same pressure and the same, because the last thing you want is one plant getting more of the water than all the other plants, or two of the plants getting barely any water, or something wrong. No, no, nothing's wrong. I think it was a good PKR show. I think it's definitely moving in a good direction. I just think it needs to be a little more organized. That was kind of chaos last night. Everybody's so excited to want to help, but what's that homegrown? I so love how the bigger channels fucking watch our shit and steal our. It's not really stealing our content, I guess, but we seem to talk about things and then they'll take it and then they got fucking thousands of viewers and then all of a sudden they're the king because they're the ones that said it. And it's like, no, it's not true. They don't like to give credit where credit's due. What's up, creative? Cheers to the 25 people. What's up? What else could what plant killers talk about? Fuck, they could talk about so many different things. Yeah, absolutely. That's just how it works. I get it. I mean, if you watch fucking, don't matter what news station you watch, majority of them are going to be fucking talking about the same big news that there is, right? But what I'm talking about is like when people aren't talking about certain things and then we start talking about it because we're the only small little group that is willing to be like, hey, this shit is bullshit. Check this out. And we're the only ones talking about it. And then the bigger channels come in and they take it. I mean, it's like nobody else is talking about it. I know where you got that information from. Like, I know why you're talking about it. And nothing I can do about it, but holy smokes. At least give credit where credit's due. Or not, I guess. It's just funny to me. They talk about, oh, let's help the community. Let's make people grow better. Let's do this. Let's do that. Okay, well, then give credit where the credit's due. Stop taking the information and making it out like it's yours. It's being a trailblazer. Trailblazer. I don't want to be a trailblazer. I'm just fucking with this little seedling. I gotta transplant these motherfuckers. Yeah, I gotta. I had to turn the AC on today. It's gonna be 70s and 80s all week. Phenomenal job. Yeah, right. Phenomenal job. Oh yeah. Well, fuck, we get cold. You don't get cold. Just Cleaning up the bottoms, spreading them out a little bit. And then you take your very lowers. We were trying to say this last night. You take your lowers. Let's see if I can show you. You take your lowers that are down here, and your lowers have to go up into the middle. They go, see in the middle there? All your taller ones go out, and then your lowers come up through the middle. Yeah. Oh yeah, balloon knots and donkey dicks. That's where fucking YouTube's came to. If you guys want, like, it'd be kind of neat. Uncle Dunk sent me a channel and what he kind of does, and it's pretty cool. Obviously, it wouldn't be the same as smoking it all, but what the guy does is he has people send in pictures of their rolled joints, and then he reviews their joints. I mean, by their picture, kind of sucks, but I mean, you get an idea of the joint, and you can see some pretty interesting joints, that's for sure. Nancy, I'd be down to do that if people wanted to send in the joint and we review it online. I mean, you just got to be okay with the reviews you get. Nah, I'm an old ugly fucking dude. If you want to, creative, you can. We talk about it backstage. Other people want to. Or if a person wanted to, they can send, a joint to me and a joint to somebody else. So that way, you get two people. Fucking. No, you gotta pretty much, if the package is there. No, not yet. Yeah, probably today. But like, I'd even be willing to like keep the package sealed until we go live. Open the package live right on, so that way I'm not even looking at the joint until anybody else is. Yeah, I appreciate it, Kev. It'll fucking the old mail service just sucks. I sent a package to somebody in Maine, and it's still in my state, and it's been over a week. Yeah, the guardian of the team. That's funny. Funny. Where? Ooh, I almost cut the wrong branch off. Little cracky on the stemmy. Little cracky on the stemmy. Bend it over, teabag it. Whatever you gotta do. Get the fucking. You gotta get the side branches and the nodes to grow. Seedling slow. Yeah, I was just thinking about that when I said that, Cab. I didn't want to fucking sound rude, but I was thinking that when I said it. I was like, ooh, that's kind of. It's like, wow, that's awfully noble of you. Putting your life on danger. I would do nice reviews, though. Doesn't mean I'm going to smoke it all, though. You know what I mean? That's why I say just roll your best joint. If people wanted to actually get into a competition about it, I don't know how exactly we do it, but if you could send it to a couple different people and you pay an entry fee, we do a whole round, and then whoever wins the pot. Yeah. I'd like the idea of sending in the weed, though, because I want to be able to roll the joint. I don't know. Unless we're just going to strictly uh, judge the joint, because I know if I get the weed and I roll it every time, then I know it's going to be consistent every time. But that's maybe part of the judging that needs to be done. No. There's some people, if I absolutely know that what you did to your weed, I just won't smoke it. No, I couldn't do that. Well, I just think a little friendly competition could just make people get better, right? I mean, that would be the hopes of it. I still like the idea of grow off, but with team grow offs. Get a few captains. We pick teams, find out everybody that wants to get involved, get on the list, right? And then we'll print out a list of everybody that's involved. And then the captains get to, I don't give a fuck. Flip a coin, whoever's got the best joint, however it is, to determine who gets first pick. And you do it like a draft, kind of like a fantasy football draft. And draft your fucking players. But you've got to have a soil grower, you got to have a cocoa grower, you got to have a hydro grower, you got to have an outdoor grower. These are all people and positions that are on your team. And then every week, when the teams go against each other, you put your soil against soil, outdoor against outdoor. Whoever's got the best, you might have the best one that week. Your shit might be doing better that week or next week, whatever. Whoever's are the best, we have judges, and you're awarded points. And whoever's got the most points at the end of the night, for that team wins, the match. I think it would only make people get better, because they're gonna maybe focus a little more, or they're gonna be like, I need to pay attention to what this guy's doing, or they're gonna learn a lot more from the people that are on their team. And I mean, I know this sounds weird. It could bring the community back together, kinda, in a way. Certain people that really want to learn to grow and really want, it's going to bring those people together. I've never seen a team grow up done like I'm talking before. And I think it'd be a cool thing. And now that I said it online, I'm sure someone's going to take it. I don't know about like Pokemon, but it'd be more like fantasy football. And it gets everybody involved. I don't care what strain you're growing. Just show your plants. That week, maybe you're not doing so well. Maybe you are doing so well. Maybe you can show your plants and then somebody can help you while you're, during that match. I mean, and same thing. I would think that charging like $5 a person to enter, $5 is nothing. But if it's like ends up being like $25 or $30 a team, and you got, if you could get somehow we could get 5-10 teams. I mean, the team that wins ultimately at the end, we either they just get the cash to split up, or we get prizes, or we could do. I don't know. I mean, yeah, something like that would even work. I mean, oh, absolutely. You're not gonna make everybody happy. And just like a lot of times people are gonna say, "Oh, it's rigged." Like, but whatever. And would anybody even be down to do something like that? Or are they too scared to show their gardens anymore? All right. I would rather do it that way as a team grow off or something, rather than honestly have people sending me weed to judge their weed. Because for one, I don't want to get anybody in trouble for sending weed, and for two, I don't want to get in trouble. Well, say somebody doesn't wrap it up good or something, it hits my post office, and then like fucking stinks up the whole post office, and then now I'm in trouble because I got weed coming to me in the mail. Like I've got a good rapport with my post office people. I don't want to fuck that up. They still believe I sell a lot of stuff on eBay, and I want to just keep it that way. Anybody want to come up? I know I didn't pin the link, but most of the time nobody comes up, so there's no point of pinning it unless somebody wants to come up. Quit! Hold on. Fucking UPS. UPS! Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just think weed should be like tomatoes. You know what I mean? Like, I think if they made it not such a big deal, then it wouldn't be a big deal. Like, they've already killed the market, and I think that's partly our fault. We've killed the market because we don't educate people. I know a lot of people argue with me about outdoor weed versus indoor weed, but I mean, most of the time, in my opinion, when you hear a 30 ounce is probably going to be last year's outdoor. I've never seen or heard of fire indoor going for $30 an ounce. I've never seen it. And I'm not saying all outdoors bad. I'm just saying that I know a lot of people will argue with this, but I think that outdoors not medical. I mean, I don't understand how it can be. There's too many factors in play. You can't control it enough to. I mean, I don't think something could be medical if someone's allergic to pollen. Can they smoke the outdoor bud that got pollen from all the other trees and everything else? I mean, is it going to affect them? Maybe. So if there's a chance that it does, then how could it be medical? Who's trying to call me? Oh, it's not. Hold on a second. I get girl questions all the time. I don't mind helping people. I don't mind helping people at all. I just don't, and I know people don't intentionally try to waste your time or waste their own time, but just think about what you're going to do or what you want to ask somebody before you ask them. And sometimes when you run that through your mind, you'll come up with the answer yourself because I've heard it so many times. Somebody will ask a question, and as they're explaining themselves, they have the answer. They're just not confident enough that they have the right answer. And that's okay, but you got to build that confidence up and just know what you're doing is going to work. Uncle Doug, what up? What time is it? 10 o'clock. I got to transplant these seedlings today. I've been working on the cloning cart, getting it all put all together. Nuggy sent me that chiller. But I'm going to be honest with you. I'm frustrated because, like, my water in the turbo cloner was getting 76, 78 degrees. It's way too hot. So I get the chiller. In order to do the chiller, I have to run, the chiller and then another pump and then another fan to keep the chiller and stuff cool. And then the Inkbird controller. And then I had to run another surge protector hooked to the Inkbird controller. So that way, when the temperature clicks off for the pump, it also turns off the chiller. I mean, it's just a lot of work to drop the water. It's frustrating. But I've been running it so I can, like, with the room temperature, no AC or nothing going, room temperature, 80 degrees, it would stay running and keep the water at 72.5 degrees, which is a lot better than 76, 78 degrees. And I know, obviously, once I kick the AC on, the room's going to be, I'll have it down to like 75 for the lung room, and that's where the clones are. It was just weird. I don't know what changed. It was like everything was fine. I'd run the cloner over and over and over, no problems. Running it all the time, fucking no problems. Water wasn't getting warm. And then for some reason, water, I don't know. I mean, I even have a timer now. You know, the I got it on 1 minute on, 5 minutes off on the sprayer pump. So there's a new timer for that. There's the Inkbird for the chiller. There's a surge protector for the chiller and the pump. There's a fan running to keep the chiller cool. Yeah, calf. That's exactly what it was. I got bigger lights and more, so it keeps. Yeah. My problem is this is my problem. I have a lung room with 4 different areas, right? So one area, the 4x4 tent with the moms. So they like their own environment. They like a higher humidity. Then I have the whole shelf and rolly cart with the clones and seedlings. They like their own shit. Then I have 2 flowering tents. They like their own shit. So it's really hard to keep the lung room at a perfect scenario for any one of the fucking spaces. So I have to try to stay in a range that's best range for all the spaces, if that makes sense. Yeah, yeah. I only run 25% veg. I mean, I'm not even running. I mean, the quantum board in that veg or in that flower tent runs a lot higher wattage than the other tent, just because that's the wattage I need, because I have to have the quantum board up higher in order to get the spread of the whole tent. But shit, this morning, you know, it was cooler. Obviously, the room's a lot cooler because it's morning time. It was, 75, no, 76. And the chiller and the water of the was down to 67.7 degrees. So I'm getting it out there. But I start going, gosh, how much more energy do I have to throw at it? Is it worth it? Like, fuck. I think so. Because the clones that you get out of a turbo cloner are just, yeah, they're just something else. It's crazy, because you can tweak one little thing and it throw a few things off. Yeah, it's got to be. Well, like I said, this morning it was, well, it was, no, it was 73 because the bed tent was off. When it's 73, the chiller will chill the water down to 70 or 67 degrees. So if I'm hoping I can keep, it'll be fairly easy to keep the lung room at 75. And so even if I'm at 68, 69 water temp, fuck, I'll be happy with that. I'll be, I'm waiting. When Nuggy goes live again and I'm available, I'll jump on Nuggies and I'll show everybody the cart. Nuggy gave me the chiller and stuff, so I'm gonna wait till his show to show it. Yeah, I can't. I mean, it's the actual turbo cloner unit. I would have to make a whole new cloner, like a homemade cloner or something. Right back. I got the AC on in there. I got to just check on it. Right now, the room's maintaining at 73 degrees, the lung room. That should be good. It's like I've said it before, but what I was finding is fucking 76, 78 degrees, you start getting slimy and it starts fucking, yeah. And I mean, right now, I'm not gonna lie to you, there's an aquarium chiller. It does 7.93 gallons on Amazon with a coupon. I think it's like 8% off, but it's $75 plus 8% off. So if anybody was needing a little chiller, that's a good deal. It does 30 liters. Is HydroGuard the same as hypochloric acid? I'm gonna have to ask New York John what he uses in his. I think that's what maybe he uses in his DWC. But see, now that I have, it's a fucking catch-22. Now that I got the lung room maintaining at 73, what does the AC also do? It takes away humidity. Works as a deep humidifier. So now the humidity gets lower. Ugh. Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's exactly what I do. Like, I've only run 2 autos in my whole, but that was what exactly, like, I'm gonna have space in the tent for a while. Might as well throw in autos to fill so I'm not lighting up the floor and keeping the tent full. And they're nice right in there with veg plants, under 18.6 because they do their own thing. I don't know how you keep up sometimes, Calf. Yeah. Already 60, 63 degrees outside. Supposed to get 80 today. %33 humidity. $12 hours and 13 minutes of daylight outside. Holy shit, that was a year ago. We went to Upchurch. Really? Was it a year ago? Quit. Dog, quit. Quit. $80 degrees today, 63 right now. I like anything if it's faster. That's why, I mean, I'm really fucking trying to get the turbo coner where I can get it down to 68. I think 68 is the sweet spot, and I think that I could get roots to pop even quicker. I think I'm gonna plug the kilowatt meter into the wall and see what that whole cart runs with everything running. $27 people, what's up? What's up? I'm gonna have to make some more fucking coffee. Damn it. I'll only be on for like maybe another 40 minutes. I don't. For some reason, I get fucked up all the times with creative shows, so I don't. Stupid question? There's not a stupid question. It just, I don't know, like, depends on what plants are. Even like the seedlings in cocoa, I don't water them every day. It's still gonna be every couple days. You know, like, I just go in and I usually move the pot, and if I move it a little bit and it's fairly light, then I'll water. If it's still, I mean, if you go to pick up a pot and you can see your wrist is like to pick up that pot, it's, you know, you probably don't need to water it. But if you go and you pick it up and it's pretty fairly, you know, like you can lift it up pretty good. I mean, you might be on the edge of, you know, underwatered. There's just that little sweet spot. It's hard to just tell somebody how much or when to water. It's such a hard thing. I wish I could figure that out because I patent it. I mean, I'll even tell you, people are gonna shit on me for this, but if you need to get a moisture meter to fucking figure it out, the weight wise or whatever, do that. I mean, however, you got to figure out the right time to water. I mean, that's the easiest answer. I don't know. Like for me, in a 1 gallon in flour, I'm watering like every 2 days, and that's Pro Mix, and that's at like 80 degrees with 50 to 55% humidity. It's every couple days. I mean, it's just there's so many variables for your spot versus my spot. I'll be right back. I gotta get something to drink. No, well, I'm waiting for this coffee. I have heard Welcome to the Grow Tent say, I mean, obviously you don't want to do this all the time, but you can let the plant go until you start seeing the droop. And then you'll pick up the pot. You'll notice how light it is. Count the days of that and then water 1 day sooner. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what he said. I mean, that'll give you an idea of how many days in between waterings. I mean, obviously, when the plant gets bigger, you're gonna have to water a little bit sooner, but that'll give you an idea of like, man, I can go 4 days. Like, wow. I hate not having like the headset I got right now is corded, and then using the tablet, it's hard to show things like when I'm on my phone and I can move around. Like these little seedlings, they're still kind of small, but I don't look at it like that. I look at all the branches they have and how much of a bush they already are. But what I'm really looking at is the roots, right? Because they were in rooting stage. Now they're at the point where I can transplant them and they can go under 18.6. My problem is that I'm so out of fucking space. I always run out of space. I gotta cut some more clones, I guess. Well, it's always nice that when you're growing out somebody's shit, that even if you're not like a tester or nothing for them, when you're growing out their shit, that if you can send them like a picture and that way that's their work. That's stuff they time they put in. They like to see. It's like having a kid that goes off to college. You want to hear from them every once in a while, see how it's doing. Like, you want to have them branch out. Yeah, I like my shit branch early. Cheers, buddy. Donald, what up, buddy? Yeah, this space is always a. Yeah. I mean, I can pretty much control the time. I mean, I like doing the littler plants, but I'm not gonna lie. If I've got a couple bigger plants and it's time to put some in the flower tent, and I got other shit going on and I don't have clones to put in there, I'll put a couple bigger plants in it. As long as you fill the space, I don't care. One plant or 100 plants, just fill the fucking space and keep them healthy. In my opinion, doing the smaller plants quicker like that though is what I've seen a little more efficient as far as time and energy it takes, for one plant. I don't want to spend that much time, soil, nutrients, anything like that. Realistically, I don't want to spend that much time on a plant. I want it to be alive and dead as fast as possible. But like I said, sometimes you got a couple other plants that are just, you're like, cool, these will be nice and flower. You throw those in because they're ready. Just keep the tent full. Oh, this super buff cherry's fucking clogs this grinder up every fucking time. You probably won't be able to see the color. You probably won't be able to see the color of it, but fuck, man. Every fucking time. Mm, mm, mm. This is all biodegradable hemp, no plastic grinder. Mikey Bowes showed me him. And it's a Santa Cruz shredder. Well, it's got their name on it. These are cheap too. Jimtown. Well, I know, but think about you probably make more money. Well, allegedly. Sometimes it'd be less headache than renting too. I don't know. You could have it all on its own meter. You could have the living room actually set up as a living room to where you have your own little shop. Allegedly. Use the kitchen to make all your edibles. Fuck. How much do you like your cousin? That's shitty. Start looking for different places for him. Dude, you should see this place I found. I think you guys would love it. That's funny. I couldn't just kick out family like that though either. I know how it is. I just start hinting. You know, if you motherfuckers didn't live here, I could grow more weed. You're gonna have to raise the rent. That's fucked up. I'm just kidding though. I'm a dick. I probably wouldn't have run into a family member. I've been fucked over by family so many times. It's just like, ugh. fuck that. You know, if it's family, they're good people. You know, they do what they're supposed to do, raise their kids, their family the right ways and shit. I couldn't. Yeah, we kid. Yeah, you know, the rent pays the mortgage. Guess what? I'd be more apt to get a storage unit. You know, like you could put a nug shack or something out back. I wish they'd just stop fucking around and let us, you know, I don't know. I think that if you got the money to own a business, you should, you know, free market, right? What happened to like if I can grow a certain goods or make a certain product really good, I should be able to sell it. Obviously, you stick to the rules. Like, you know, the people agree to the rules. I mean, obviously, kids shouldn't get a hold of cannabis. I mean, duh. Same as alcohol, same as tobacco. You know, treat it the same way. I don't have my fuck, no problem following the rules. But don't make it impossible for me to do it. If I had the money, though, I wouldn't even do a grow facility. I would do a consumption lounge. I would honestly, I would move in the direction of trying to be more of a private club. I've said that, I know, so many times, but you can get away with a lot more. And being nonprofit, private club, I have no problem helping people. So I have no problem taking any of the profits and fucking giving it to the schools, to the veterans, to the, you know, I have no problem whatsoever. Because being nonprofit, I could pay myself whatever. So is there ever a show of profit? Oh, maybe. And my dream would be to do that, do a private club, kind of like an Eagles or an Elks club, Moose Lounge, whatever you want to call it. And then I would want to make clubs throughout the whole United States. Have nonprofit cannabis club with all profits going towards schools, cancer, whatever. I know. Makes me sound like a really stingy, greedy person, huh? I want to open up a private club so I can give away all the profits. Yeah. We have some people that they trade clones for cans of food. I got one event to start. They charge to get in, or you can bring cans of food. I got them to start doing that. And I was like, why don't you give the option? Because then you can take. Because look, cannabis is such a taboo thing that anything that you can do good for the community and be about whatever the can you're doing. It's hard for the community to bitch about something that's really helping the community. Like there's some places in California that these communities were like literally dying. And if it wasn't for the weed, these communities wouldn't even be around anymore. I mean, they create their own economy. And you can do that for the good, and you can do that for the bad. I mean, the only way we're going to do anything is we got to do it ourselves. And unfortunately, I can come up with the ideas. I just don't have the money to fucking implement them. Yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. I would do Toys for Tots every year. I would do, yeah, everything. I'd have the little fucking Christmas tree where you can pick a child and buy Christmas gifts for. I'd do all that shit. I did when I was on the board of trustees for the Eagles Club. And so I used to get shit like that going. I've organized, fundraisers and shit for cancer children and things like that. So I've done it before. I'm all about that shit. Look, as long as I had a really fucking dope club, it ran itself, made all the money it needed to make to keep it afloat, paid everybody, was able to give some people some jobs. Fuck, I'll take all the profits and give it away. I don't give a shit. I'm not trying to get rich off it. Will I get paid? Well, absolutely I'll get paid. But I say create a good community around the weed so that way the community stands behind it. People start talking shit like, "Oh my God, you got that club in your town." People are like, "Well, actually, though, that club has donated a lot of money to help a lot of things in the local community." So people are always going to talk shit, but it's hard to talk shit when you're doing good. And everybody wants to be a part of something that's good. Yeah, some of the biker groups, believe it or not, do some of the most fucking charitable work. Um, I used to hang out with some guys that were part of a club. That was the same. We did a lot of that charity work and shit for when we did wrestling. I got all those pictures on that fucking computer. I gotta take that computer in and see if I can't get it to boot up. The wife said, "Why didn't you just download all those pictures to the cloud?" And I was like, "Fuck the cloud." Like, where the fuck? I didn't. I don't know nothing about that shit. Got about 9 minutes. It'll be 11 o'clock my time, and I believe that's when creative goes live. Yeah, I'm telling you. Well, you guys know. Fucking biker groups. When it comes to children, I mean, those guys will step up. I just watched a video where a kid was getting bullied at school. So the whole fucking club showed up one day to pick him up from school. He became like the cool kid overnight. Yeah. There was like 20, 30 bikers. They showed up, picked him up from school. Yeah, it does. It really fucking feels good that, I mean, sometimes you sit back and you see people get stuff and you think, that motherfucker don't deserve that shit. But who am I to say that person? You know what I mean? Like, fuck. I probably don't deserve it. You know what I mean? Like, I was a fuckhead when I was younger. I mean, I've just done a lot of shit after that to try, not necessarily try to make up for it, but just try to be a better person. I mean, yeah, I was in Job Corps. That was after they released me from the juvenile prison to Job Corps. I had like 3 months left on my sentence. And so I had to live in the fucking group home. They had a group home. And they take you to Job Corps every morning. You live there at the group home. And then when I got released from that, I moved on to campus. And then I got kicked out for fucking getting drunk. I wasn't supposed to leave campus, but I'd leave and go fucking. I knew some people in town. I'd go get drunk, and then when you come back on campus, you're supposed to sign back in, but I never would, and they caught me one night. Well, they actually caught me a couple of nights drunk, but that last night they caught me. They booted me out. Oh yeah, I think I don't really care if you're religious or you're not religious. Just try to be the best person you can be. Think about like what somebody else might be going through. Like, not that you have to get that deep into it, but like think about what you've been through and think about, okay, maybe they've been through something similar or maybe worse. You know, I don't know about you guys, but there's something about doing something for a child and seeing their face light up. It just melts my heart. And it could be the stupidest thing. You get them a new basketball or a football or, like it's that feeling to me is better than doing any kind of drug, any kind of alcohol, anything like that. Because of what I went through as a child, There's children should be taken care of very well. They should. It just makes you feel good, man. It just makes you feel good. Like I mean, there's a reason why, like, even when we bust balls on somebody, it's like, oh gosh, that, like you get that feeling. It's like, ugh. That's really not the feeling you should be getting doing anything. You shouldn't get that feeling like, oh God, that's ugh. Like that's not the feeling you should be striving for. I mean, uh, I would much rather if I could somebody be like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Thank you so much. Like, those little private messages that I get from people telling that I helped them and thank you so much. That's why I haven't tried to really make money teaching nobody. To me, that's such a reward in itself from where I came from. Getting compliments like that from growers that are now figuring it out and growing great plants and not running out of. I mean, come on, that's like, yeah, right, Donald. That's how it was. I wasn't allowed to have kids over either. My mom, when she finally left my stepdad, she was an old lady, biker old lady, and the parties we'd have at the house, we weren't, we couldn't talk about it even. You know what I mean? Like, you don't, you don't, you just, that was just keep your mouth fucking shut. You know, you don't tell nobody our business. You don't. I mean, that's where that whole don't snitch type thing came in so fucking early as my childhood. Like you see the people get fucked up for that. Like it was a different time back then. I mean, I don't know how it is for kids nowadays. I mean, I'm sure the fucked up shit still happens, but that's why we always gotta stand up for our kids. When I say our kids, I mean like our kids, our fucking community kids. You see something fucked up going on with the kid, fucking, it doesn't feel right. Fucking say something, do something. Like it is. You're absolutely right, Butters. It really is. Even for me, I mean, it's easier for me to make. It seems like it's always easier to find the negative. I mean, yeah, yeah, reefer. Yeah, I used to get the shit beat out of me. So there was like a lot of times I wasn't allowed to go to school, right? So it wasn't that I smelled like weed. I was too bruised up to go to school. They might ask questions, man. Like I can relate. Like I don't know if anybody's really heard. I mean, I'm sure some people have of the Alaska Avenger, the guy that was gone. He went around and fucking beat up sex offenders. He got out in January. I message with him sometimes. And he's cool, dude. Cool fucking dude. Same thing, you know, protect the fucking kids. I mean, yeah, yeah, yeah. Fucking touchy toes. Oh God, I hate that. We had the principal that had a fucking board too, though. He had a paddle. Or teachers with rulers. And they used to, man, anybody used to be able to hit you back then, though. Like, if you were fucking up in the grocery store and your parent wasn't dealing with it, fuck. Different times. Yep, different times. Yeah, well, that sucked, you know. That was, I was 18 when I got fucking kicked out of Job Corps, and they tried saying I was still on probation. So at 18, they put me in juvie. They put me in juvenile hall at 18. And then they were like, "Oh shit, sorry, you got off everything in February." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. That's why they moved me to Job Corps. That's why I wasn't in the group home no more." And they were like, "Yep, you're right." I was like, "Fuck." I had to take a Greyhound bus. It was from Eastern Washington to Western Washington, Olympia, Washington. It was 70s. Yeah. Peace, brother. It's good talking to you, Donald. Yeah, they got paddles, man. Kids wouldn't understand that shit today. Like, could you imagine being a kid back then and looking at your parents and being like, "No, I ain't doing that shit." What? Most of the time when I was a kid, it was shut the fuck up. What are you fucking talking for? There's nothing you're gonna say that's gonna be intelligent enough to add to any conversation we're having. The adults are talking. You need to shut the fuck up. Matter of fact, go find something else to do. But that's just the way it was back then. Oh shit, it's 11:05. I gotta get off here, guys. I appreciate everybody showing up. 24 people's there. Go on over to Creatives. I'm pretty sure Creatives live. I should double check. I'm pretty sure he is. Yes. So Creatives live. So go over there. It was good chatting with everybody. I'm probably out of live minutes, so there might be a little while until the next live, but I'll see everybody around. Have a good day and cheers.